Morning guys, welcome to Merlin's Ears. Today we are at Legoland in Windsor. It's our first visit since lockdown, so it's going to be really interesting to see what safety measures they've got in place, and to be honest whether or not the general public are actually abiding by those safety measures, because we have seen when we went to the zoo days at Chessington that not everyone was doing what they should have been doing. But that being said, we did go to Chessington yesterday and it did seem to be a lot smoother. Probably about 90% of people were actually practicing social distancing and wearing their masks and everything, so that's really encouraged us to come to Legoland today, and we're really excited. The weather is beautiful and we've got here really early. Actually it's only like 9:10. We got here early so we could have a quick cheeky McDonald's breakfast in the car, and then we're sort of going to make a walk up to the gate, so we're one of the first ones inside. As you can see from the car park behind me, it is very, very quiet. The first difference we've seen so far is that Legoland are asking that you leave a space between cars when you're parking, so that's something they weren't doing at Chessington, so that's something extra that Legoland seems to be doing, which is really good. We're just going to finish our breakfast now and then we're going to head into the gates, which is just behind us here. So we're just walking up to the gate now. Legoland are at capacity today as well, so obviously it's going to be reduced capacity since lockdown, but they put on Twitter yesterday that the park is full for pre-booked tickets, so it'll be interesting to see what the park feels like when it is at its new capacity. We're walking up to the gate now. Like I say, it's only just gone 9:15. There is already a little bit of a queue forming. I'm not sure what time the gates open, but they have got, we've seen like social distance markers just along the pavement here. I'm just going to flip the camera around and show you those now. There we go, so you've got the social distance markers. That goes all the way up. We haven't even got to the security and bag check yet. Well, Neil's spotted a notice. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that sign was basically just to remind you of social distancing, face coverings, and it's they're trying to encourage you to pay contactless, obviously to minimise contact with the general public. It does look very, very busy here today, so it's going to be very interesting to see how we're going to manage social distancing. So we just had our bags searched and now we're just waiting here in this queue for the gates to open. The music's just started playing, so hopefully it won't be too much longer. So while we're waiting in this queue, we're going to get our temperatures checked. Here we go. There's Neil and Harry having their temperature jump. Yay! We haven't got a temperature, we're allowed in. Just come through the first set of gates. We're now waiting for the turnstiles to be opened. One thing I think that Chessington definitely do better is you have like zigzag areas to queue down with social distance markers. They haven't got that at Legoland, and as you can see, very little social distancing in these queues so far. So we just got through the turnstiles. We want to get Harry's ride access pass sorted out. Now usually you come in and go left to the ride access desk, which is kind of just over behind me. For some reason they haven't got that open, so you have to come to the guest services, which is on the right hand side as you come in the park gates, and that's to get your ride access pass activated. So we just quickly stopped off in the big shop just near the entrance to the park to see if they had any face coverings. We just bought some. They are £6 each regardless as to whether you get the adult or the child size, and they come in two colours, so blue or yellow. I'll put a picture of the ones we bought in here. So you get the Merlin Pass discounts. We paid £10.80 for ours. One thing I did notice about the shop though, there's not a one-way system like there was at Chessington. You didn't have to wash your hands before you went in. They weren't giving you sanitised baskets or anything like that. So it does actually seem that Chessington are taking more precautions than Legoland so far, which isn't what I expected. We're just heading down now towards the Ninjago ride. I think that's going to be our first ride of the day. Walking past the Viking River Splash, and you can see, I don't know if you can see actually because it's quite bright, but the pathway's been split in two, and they're encouraging you to keep left when you're walking along the pathways. Be interesting to see how many people do that. To Pirate Shores, and this is new. Little Lego pirate band. So it's just before 10 o'clock in the morning, and just give you an idea of queue levels. We're just coming to Heart Lake City. So far, very, very quiet. We just walked past Ninjago Land though. The queue is horrific to wait for the Ninjago ride, but there's hardly anyone over in Heart Lake City. come over to look at the new menu for the pizza pasta restaurant. So this used to be a buffet, obviously buffets aren't really a thing at the moment, but what you can do now is you get a meal deal, so you can just see that information there. So just like you get pizza, pasta, dough balls and drinks for a set price. And like I said, just bring it over to the table rather than you going up buffet style. We're just kind of hanging around in Heart Lake City at the moment because the rides haven't opened yet. We've got Harry's ride access pass ready to activate, so as soon as 10 o'clock comes and the rides officially open, we'll be able to use the first ride access pass of today. Legoland. They have changed it now for this season, which is something we talked about in our Legoland at Christmas vlog, I think it was. So now they do what is kind of like a reverse ride access pass, so you can go on rides immediately, but then whatever that ride time, wait time is currently, is when you get locked out of the ride access pass. So for example, we're going to go on Ninjago now. If the queue time is currently 30 minutes, our ride access pass gets locked for 30 minutes, and then once that time has passed, we can then go straight onto another ride. So I think it's going to work a lot better than the old way, but we'll let you know once we've been on a few rides. So me and Harry just went on to Mia's riding school, and they are, what they're doing is leaving one seat between parties on the ride, and face masks are compulsory on that ride. But it was okay, and we used the Legoland mask and it withstood the ride quite well, didn't come down or anything like that. Fairly comfortable, easy to breathe. Now we're finally going to go on Ninjago because we couldn't get it, the ride access pass to work straight away. And since Mia's didn't have a queue, we thought we'd jump on there while Neil sorted out the ride access pass. He's done that now. Ninjago's already got a 40-minute wait, so already the ride access pass is really helping us out, because hopefully we'll be able to go straight on. So we're just in the queue line for Ninjago now. Because it's indoors, I have got the face mask on. I'm just going to flip the camera around now so you can see what the queue's like on the inside. So it's not too bad. And the queue line has got Neil standing on one, but there's the social distance markers in the queue line as well. And most people are observing it, to be honest. I'm not sure if you can see it, we're just waiting for the balloon school, and there's a guy walking around with a spray disinfectant doing all of the balloons before we get on, so that's really encouraging. I don't know if I can catch him when he comes around here. Guy that looks like a Ghostbuster. There he goes. Every single balloon's been disinfected before we get on. Just come off the balloon school, really fun ride. The downside of them disinfecting the ride before you get on it is you end up with soggy bottoms. We've all got sanitised bottoms now, so that's nice. But at least we know that they're being really safe, and to be honest, we've seen loads of staff walking around sanitising and cleaning, so I feel quite safe to be here today. And apart from when you first came in, you know, through the turnstiles, social distancing seems to be a lot easier than I thought at Legoland. So yeah, we feel pretty safe, quite happy to be here today. Queues aren't too bad, and the ride access pass is actually working really, really well for us. So we've been on, I think, 3 rides already. I think we're just heading into Lego City now to do a few more things. I think Harry's going to do the driving school. Seems every land in Legoland seems to have the refresh and refill station, so like the Coke free style. You have to go over to one of the quick service places to buy the cup. The price information is just here, so it's one bottle's £12, and then you get free refills all day. If you then bring it back on your second visit, you can reactivate the cup for £6, so it's really worth doing, especially if you're a regular visitor like us. And obviously you can see there, the more bottles you buy, the cheaper it is per bottle. just been on the Duplo coaster. Harry, what did you think of the Duplo coaster?
It was good.
Yeah? Was it really, really fast?
Not that fast.
No. It was fun. The seats are surprisingly comfortable actually, because it's like a kiddie coaster, like a family or baby coaster really. I wasn't expecting to be able to get my bum in it, to be honest, but the seats were really quite comfortable. Yeah. It was what it was. It's very colourful. The whole of Duplo Land has had a kind of like a paint job, so to speak. So it looks really, really fresh, really bright in there. It was a little bit busy, probably one of the busier parts of the park so far. But still, you were able to social distance. So yeah, we've done what we wanted to do in Duplo Valley. We've just come round to Miniland now. Going to try and find some of the American bits to make up for the fact that we're not in California right now, because that's where we should be. How cute is this? Little ducklings, look. Oh, look at them go. Well, since we can't be in California, this is the closest we're going to get by the looks of it. Miniland USA at Legoland Windsor. It's got Vegas, New York, San Francisco. Route 66 over in the corner there. We should have been visiting the real Hollywood sign this week. Just to give you another idea of crowd levels, this is the Miniland, Lego Miniland. And you can easily walk around social distance here. There's not that many people walking around at all. So that's a real sign of the times, the thank you NHS and key workers. You know, we were doing the Thursday clap and the rainbow and everything. That's over in the London part of Miniland. There's something new there. You can just see, I've zoomed right in. There's the Queen and Sir Tom. He's getting his knighthood there. That's a really nice touch. That is part of the Windsor Castle model. So while Neil and Harry are going on the Coast Guard HQ, which is one of my least favourite rides here, I managed to come across to where the Haunted House Monster Party is. Unfortunately the ride itself is shut, but they've got a photo up with Frankie, so I've had my picture with him, socially distanced of course. I'll put that picture in here. Here come Neil and Harry on Coast Guard HQ. Hello! You got a red boat, Harry, your favourite colour. Did you get that on purpose? Just popped into the Studio Cafe, which is opposite the 4D Theatre, and there's kind of like a little terrace around the back of it. I'm not sure if we're meant to be around here, but there's absolutely nobody here. There's a couple of tables and some seats, and like I say, we are completely on our own here, and look, brilliant place to stop and just have a breather, get a little drink, maybe an ice cream. Lovely view of Miniland just behind us here. This is so eerie. We're just walking past the beginning, so where the turnstiles are. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's like a ghost town up here. We're just passing through on the way back down to the Viking boat ride, but look at it. Next up for us is, I think it's called the Viking River Splash, just like a little rapid ride. I don't think you get too wet on this, but I'm not going to take a chance with the camera, so you just have to see what we can see here. So I've managed to get you a little bit of a better view of the ride just through one of the windows along the exit. The ride access pass worked really well for us. The queue's currently about 35 minutes, and because of the ride access pass we managed to get straight on practically. And we saw them do some cleaning before we went on, so we knew the boat was sanitised. But I'm telling you, it's not exactly a river splash ride. We have come off bone dry. There was not one part of this that got us wet, which is a bit of a disappointment because it's a really hot day today, but yeah, never mind. It's the end of the day. We just quickly pop back into the big shop just before we go see if there's anything for Harry. I was wrong, there is a one-way system around the shop, so they have got kind of arrows on the floor. It's a little bit hard to follow, to be honest. Like I said earlier, they don't get you to wash your hands or give you a sanitised basket or anything like that, like they did in Chesington. But it's not as busy as it used to be in here at the moment, so it's still fairly safe. But I'm just going to quickly flip the camera around so you can see the layout of the shop. Don't really think it's changed much, but just to give you an idea of sort of crowd levels and everything. So as you can see, it's still kind of laid out the same. I don't think they've really moved any of the stands, but there are arrows on the floor, so you're supposed to follow those around. It doesn't feel any different in here, just a lot quieter than it used to be. But that could just be because of the crowd levels in the park. But there you have it, that's what the shop looks like at the moment. So as always, I come outside and left Harry and Neil in the big shop because who knows what they're going to spend this time. So I thought I'd do a quick outro out here while we're waiting. Just to sum up the day, the safety measures I think that Lego have put in place are really good. I think I've seen more cleaning in between the rides here than we did at Chesington. Chesington were doing it, but Legoland seems to be doing it a lot more. The only downside I think was in the shops, that it wasn't, you know, like Chesington were getting you to sanitise your hands and giving you a sanitised basket. The one-way system was clearer, and if you picked up anything that you weren't buying, there was a quarantine bin at the end, whereas there was none of that in the big shop in Legoland. It was literally one way in, one way out, and a one-way system throughout the shop, which was a bit tricky to follow, I'll be honest. But apart from that, it was a fantastic day, and we did feel really safe here. Most people were following the social distancing, and so you can't really ask for more than that. The new ride access pass, I think we prefer it to the old way, and so now you go on the ride instantly and then you just get blocked out for whatever the queue time on that ride is. We personally prefer that. I don't know if any of you have used the ride access pass in the past and have used it again this season. Let us know in the comments down below whether you prefer the old way or the new way. For us, I think we prefer the new way. We're just going to head off now back home. I just want to say thank you for joining us on this venture, and we'll see you again soon. Bye! This is what happens when you leave Neil alone in the Lego big shop. This wasn't Harry's doing, this was Neil's doing. Big kid.